Hey guys, I was just about to go to bed. In fact, I was like in the process of drifting off, and I was actually going to possibly postpone this video like a day or two, or maybe more. I was going to take more time to think about what I'm going to say, because I believe I have a possible solution, a potential solution, and something that, for all we know, might actually work and change this whole thing. And if you're going to watch this, if you're going to hear me out, I'd ask that you hear me out the entire way. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. But as I said, I was just about to go to sleep, so I'm kind of tired. I'm still with it, but I'm tired. My body, my mouth isn't going to be able to catch up to my brain in the way that it normally would, because my body's used to being in shutdown mode right now. So, as long as that's understood and can be overlooked, if I'm a little bit slow, if I'm a little bit tongue-tied, or if it sounds like I'm slurring my words like a drunken person, oh well. I decided I wanted to talk about this now. Essentially, case in point, to save some time, I've been doing a lot of work acknowledging what's wrong with this whole thing, all the bad stuff about it. And still very glad I dove into what I did. And there may be more to do. I'm expecting it. But essentially through it all, I've realized, like, if you're gonna acknowledge all the bad and you're gonna dive into it and you're gonna demand proof for this and that, and you're gonna get really stern about everything, why can't that be done with the light side of things? So this video's intention isn't just to be positive. If it gives somebody out there hope, then awesome. But this is about a real potential solution. And I'm serious about this. No matter how outlandish it sounds to you at first, please, if you're gonna listen to anything I have to say about it, then listen to the whole thing. But I'll just say this real quick also. When I had that breakthrough experience, like almost 2 years ago now, at least a year and a half, as I've said numerous times on here, it was unlike anything I ever thought possible to experience sober in this reality. Never before has an experience like that happened to me, and it hasn't happened since, not in that way, not with that level of intensity. And without getting into all the details of that story and repeating certain things, the one thing that I want to bring up is that there were, along with getting hit with what I believe were real past life memories, and I'm talking things that are completely, in a way, unrecognizable to the way that things are right now. And all of these connections being made instantly, and all this expanded awareness of who I am and, my part in all this and what's going on. When I tell you that it was drastically different, I mean it. Like, again, this isn't something that happens to me ever. It's not like I'm known for having these wild, crazy spiritual experiences all the time. This was like a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity. And I believe it happened because I was in the right place at the right time in the exact right circumstance. And I did something that temporarily broke me out of this. Like, the lock that was put over my consciousness, because a lot of stuff there was just instant knowing about things. And the joke of that, the sick joke that is accompanies that, hold on a sec. The sick joke that accompanies all that is basically you sound like a babbling idiot. A lot of things that you see and experience, you're unable to describe, especially at that time, because it's a lot. It's very intense. And you know damn well that this body and your brain is not meant, it's not properly equipped to process that and utilize what you are. But despite all the rummaging through the darkness, I still believe we're hella powerful, for lack of better words. I don't even know how to put it, like, beyond what we can even concoct in our minds. Like, you know, take your wildest imagination and it's not even close to the level that of being that we really are. And so I think this whole thing, again, is a complete and total cover-up of all that. All of it is to prevent you from knowing that. All of it. So before I talk about some of this, you know, the real reason I'm doing this video, think about it like this. If you knew that there was a surefire way out of here, or through this, or even a way to totally flip the script, change the reality entirely, basically a solution. Because a lot of the problem is that a lot of us are running on heart alone lately. It's not giving up in the face of overwhelming evidence that it's all over and we're all fucked. Meaning, no one knows if there's an actual solution. That doesn't involve waiting to die and then trying to get out of here. I get how that's a solution, but that's something, you know, if that's the ultimate truth, then fucking so be it. But I'm not ready to just accept that yet. Something about that just doesn't sit well with me. No, it just doesn't. I'm not willing to throw in the towel like that. Absolutely not. And suicide shouldn't have to be an option at all, ever, for people who have done the kind of work that it shouldn't be an option, period. It's like, I mean, this world shouldn't be the way that it is what I'm saying. Obviously, I'm glad suicide is a potential solution if, say, you were captured and, you know, horribly abused and you, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, put somebody out of their misery type of thing. I'm grateful for that aspect of it, but it's like, why, I just always ask myself, why is it possible for all this bad to happen, but never anything like super miraculously good? There's something really not right about that. It's like, it's trickery. And again, it lets me know more and more that this is all deliberate. It's all deliberate. It's by design. It's not, this isn't an accident. It's like, you have to manipulate reality. You have to manipulate a part of infinity where all possibility exists to get something like this. It has to come from something. But ask yourself this question. Weird, I didn't have a cough all day. Since that last video I did where I got, like, you know, all choked up out of nowhere. It wasn't an issue. And now all of a sudden, here we go. I was wondering, I'm like, am I getting sick? And it's like, nope, didn't get sick. Didn't have any of those symptoms after. It's like, what the hell? So I'm just going to do what I got to do. I'm trying to be courteous right now because everybody but me is off to dreamland. But if you knew there was a solution, you didn't know what it was, you didn't know how to go about getting it, you know, utilizing it, obtaining it, whatever. You know, basically the Matrix isn't going to give you shit. There's no instruction manual, there's no hints, there's no anything. Let's just say. But you knew somehow that there was a solution. And not only was there a solution, but it was well within your means. Meaning, if you do the right combination of things, or not even that, but if you do the right thing, if you get the answer, you know, from nonstop critical thinking and digging and digging and digging and seeking and never giving up, not simply not taking no for an answer, not taking waiting to die for an answer. It's get the hell out of here or else. It's fix this or else. It's whatever solution we have to create that doesn't involve what is being allowed to horrendously continue. What would you do with that? How would that change your way of thinking? What things would suddenly become a possibility to you that otherwise weren't prior to all of that, to that knowing? And again, that's a knowing of there's a way, there's a solution, there's something that can be done. You don't know what it is, you don't know how, you don't know with who, you don't know what it involves, but something. And you know 100% that if you find out what that something is and you act on it, you get out. You get your way, basically. You get sovereignty again. What would you be willing to risk in order to try to find it? Would you be willing to risk your time? Would you be willing to risk your job? Possibly your financial state? Hopefully not. Would you be willing to risk looking like a fool, looking like an idiot, wasting your time, going back to the drawing board if your original plans don't work and try something else? Or even maybe persist in what you're already doing to see if it's just a test of time, an application? Because most good things that have happened here don't happen overnight. And a lot of times they don't happen in one shot. Sometimes not even 5, not even 10, not even 20. I think a lot of people have actually, possibly unknowingly, because I've realized the denial that I was in even just like a year ago, like wow. Or rather the ignorance. I think a lot of us have been in denial, thinking that if we just keep this cycle going, if we just keep up with our lives, and if we just ignore them a little bit more, step away from society a little bit more, it will all go away, it will all get better, it will just wrap itself up on its own. And then you realize, when you get like really truthful about all of it, that train isn't coming. It's just not. And we've received no indication that it is. So I don't want to hear that. Basically what I'm going to suggest is everybody who doesn't want to hear me out on this and isn't willing to put some thought into it at least, and potentially organize a real solution, because I am going to be talking about something very specific that involves somewhat knowing exactly what to do and how to go about it to an extent. I'm looking to actually take a real shot. So I'm taking this seriously. Like, I'm not going to freak out. This isn't an absolute dire emergency. I'm not going to, anybody says, okay, I'm in, or that sounds great, how can I get involved? I'm not going to be like, okay, we got to get on this tomorrow, first thing in the morning, or next week. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of just getting ready, and it would be taking a big risk. It'd be a willing heart. And no, I'm not talking about the mass cliff dive or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this, what I'm going to be talking about, so that never has to be an option. But we haven't nearly tried everything yet. I feel like, again, people are just in a way in denial, and other people are just so beaten down by this, and you can't blame them. I don't blame anybody. for having absolutely no, feeling like they have no fight left in them whatsoever. I don't fucking blame you at all. I just want to say that. And thank you for still being here and fighting anyway, somehow. But when I had that experience, I had a lot of visions hit me, I guess you could say. Like, again, along with a lot of everything else, I'm talking like even blueprints to like reality architecture, stuff that I could understand in whatever this upgraded form of consciousness was that I was experiencing. But like, again, you come down from that, you can't, it's like everybody in the Bible who had a vision and they come back from it and they're babbling, except it wasn't like a God type of thing. It wasn't a religious vision or anything. It was just instant knowings about things, instant vision, instant foresight. I've proven I have the gift of foresight in some ways to myself. I don't look to take advantage of anybody by using it or go around telling people, oh, I can see the future. But I've proven it on numerous occasions to myself. So it, like, all of this just starts to add up, and I'm like, okay. I ask myself, seriously, what do we have to lose? And 5 years from now, say we're all still doing this in 5 years, it's even worse. And I'm still making videos and stuff, and we're pep talking each other and shit, which is great, but picture this being 5 years from now. Add another 5 years to your experience here, and we still don't have anything. How fucking discouraged and depressed and full of despair do you think a lot of us will be then, considering what it's like now? Not to scare you, but I'm just asking. Just consider that for a moment, please. So, just a couple examples. There was a lot of other details, and some of it was more personal. I'm not going to be talking about that. I don't feel like listing all the visions I had. But I was saying stuff to even people in my life, and I reminded them of this, because a lot of it dawned on me, even just recently. Because some might say, oh, well, you made that vision come true because you tried to force it, and no, it wasn't like that at all. It all happened very naturally, unexpectedly, by following my spirit's knowing on where to be at what time and when, somehow. Having these gut feelings about things at random times and knowing, somehow just getting the timing right. I was shown, and again, it was an instant knowing, not something speaking to me and not information downloading. It kind of is like that, but it's not, I can't really explain this part of it. It wasn't like, I didn't feel this information coming in from an external force. It wasn't like that. Not when this part of it happened. I know there was a lot of interruption, and the way I describe it, it's like the fucking Eye of Sauron was on me for that stretch of time. Like, this whole place has the ability to just zoom in on you, and it's so freaky and it's so crazy. I'm talking even time slowdowns and stops, and basically not being able to interact with. I believe people are NPCs, like certain people are NPCs for more than just internet reasons, I'll put it that way. No matter how much I yelled and screamed, they couldn't hear me, even though I was right next to them. I was shut off from being able to interact with them temporarily. And it's like all time stopped at one moment, and that's when that lady came in, and it was like she knew about every intimate detail of my life. So this isn't an easy thing to talk about, but it's like I start to shake, like, because not to sound dramatic, but it's kind of like a PTSD in a way, because it was so intense when all this happened. I'm really not kidding. This is a true fucking story. It's a true account. I had people try to tell me, oh, you hallucinated that. Oh, no, that didn't happen. You were just, like fuck off. Seriously. I seriously realized how fucked up and evil that is, to try to gaslight somebody like that. Like, fuck off. I'm not mad at anybody, so I'm sorry for getting into what I just did there, but there's no reason for that. But I'm just telling you, like, again, I don't just believe in the whole NPC thing because of internet reasons. I've seen this system, whatever the hell it is, get into anything that it wanted to at any given time. And I've had this whole experience changed on me, like, completely manipulated in all kinds of evil stuff try to attack me viciously after I had this original experience, which was very good at first. And I have to take this into account. If I'm going to be scrutinizing, I have to scrutinize in this way also. I can't just, like, acknowledge all the bad, but not acknowledge any of the good. So obviously, I said another thing, like, oh, and we're going to, this was, keep in mind, this was almost 2 years ago. I was saying to Kaylee during the time, we're going to have many houses and stuff. And I told her all these other details about things. And like I said, I had this, like, some sort of, like, knowing that my spirit would show me it along the way. It would prove it to me. And that stuff happened. And that's just the truth. I didn't know how we were going to meet the animals that we did. We had no idea about this. I didn't know we were going to end up hopping B&Bs and stuff. We're still doing that. We've seen a lot of places that we otherwise wouldn't have went. It's like all this stuff happened. I had no idea how. And I didn't, it's like, again, I wasn't even thinking of these, call them visions, I guess, foresights, whatever. I wasn't even thinking of any of that. So it's not like I deliberately tried to fulfill the prophecy, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm going to tell you about one of the other visions I had. And for the people following the book that I'm doing, the game, yeah, this is part of the story. But it comes from something real. And I saw it play out in this, basically the not too distant future. It was the distant future, but not like crazy distant. But I'm talking this timeline, this reality, this experience. Because in the book, it's all about something that was done in an ancient past. And it involves a song, and it involves an army playing the song. But I was just part of this huge marching band, and basically we were all marching around the world. We weren't actually marching around the entire world, but it had that feel to it. It was like Forrest Gump when he basically decides, like, you know, when he's at the end of himself, and he just decides, fuck it, I'm just going to keep running. And he goes as far and, you know, as long as he possibly can, and he meets people along the way, and they're helping him and shit. And before you know it, everybody knows is watching him on TV and shit like that. But we were actually, like, there was a lot of angles to this. It didn't start off as a big thing, but there was a bunch of people that it got their attention, and other people ended up helping with it. And what we were doing is we were playing this really big, amazing, triumphant, epic song. And I can't translate it with my abilities alone. I'm talking something so, like, colossal. Like a song you can't even, you've never heard it before. You've never once turned on your radio and heard anything like this. Even regular marching bands, like, didn't have this gigantic wall of sound that we did. And again, it's not like I was this, like, famous conductor or anything that everybody was like, oh, look at, you know, he's leading the charge. I was just part of it. Like, I just lent, you know, what I could do. And but I also had this sense that it was something that I had a hand in getting together. I was there from the beginning of it. I wasn't just somebody who just, like, you know, a spectator who was like, oh, you know, that looks cool, I'm going to jump in. But, so we were playing this, like, incredible song. And again, no matter what I do, I can't translate it perfectly, but you probably already know where I'm going with this. And you're, like, going, oh, fuck, he's like, no, I can't do that. But yeah, I'm going to go there. Because I think I might possibly know what to do. And believe me, I do not say this lightly. I'm even in the back of my mind, I'm going, dude, don't say that, because, like, if it doesn't work out. But I'm also admitting that, you know what, I don't know at the same time. And I really don't. And basically, here it is. I would be willing to get the best version of the song that I could, because it's not done yet. I have a bunch of songs, in fact, that weave into each other. They're all basically different songs that are all part of one big song. And I'm not saying it has to be all my way, because I would like to try other experiments with this too and see what other people have to bring to the table. But I would be willing to put together, like, actually go to a studio or something and hire people to put out the best version of it that I possibly could, the closest version. And then anyone who was interested on here, spread the word, and if you play an instrument, practice it and lay down your own parts to it. But they gotta be like, do a good job with it. Like, there's this something like this. If we were to do this, and again, I'm just putting the idea out there. I'm not saying you guys all have to do this, or you're not soul travelers, or I am not going to talk to you anymore. I'm just throwing this out there. Like I said, like, I'm taking a risk, and again, there's that part of me in the back of my mind that's like, oh, dude, if that didn't work, you're gonna end up looking like a fucking huge idiot. And it's like, yeah, well, at least I fucking tried. At least we fucking tried. Did we really try everything? Did we do outlandish things that we had a hunch about that possibly made sense? Because I know that this universe is one of energy. It's one of sound, light, and vibration. And sound is a huge part of this. They've proven this with real science, natural science, like the real scientific method, not just like NASA endorsed bullshit, or the Elon Musk bullshit or anything like that. It's so, picture getting a really like solid amount of people, I'm talking hundreds at first, to meet up somewhere in the US. I don't care so much where it is. It doesn't even have to be in public at first. To go on a march and everybody lends their version of the song and their instrument. Everybody would have to be tuned up to the same key, and essentially you'd be playing the same song in harmony. And we'd need a lot of drummers with really big drum paddles, sticks, and like war type drums. Snare drums, we'd need snare drummers, we'd need lots of brass instruments, guitars, flutes, all kinds of shit, like anything you can think of. Even if you just want to be a part of it and you just want to bang on a triangle or like a tambourine or something like that, try to go to the beat and create the most resonant, triumphant, thunderous sounding music that was ever before heard in history. Because I don't think anybody's done this yet. These things there are marching bands and stuff, but it wouldn't sound like what I'm talking about. They don't sound anywhere near what I'm talking about. And eventually, like I said, spread the word. The more we can get to meet up and participate, I think the more chance we'd have. And I'm talking about get the sound so not only just loud. You'd want good quality earplugs for this, and believe me, you'd still be able to hear just fine. But get it so loud, so resonant, so beautiful, so just like, wow, like what in the hell? Like I'm talking like an astounding level of sound that's never ever been heard before. And see what that does. And put time and dedication into it. Not just, we play for 15 minutes, and if we don't get something, then we all quit and go home. I'm talking about consistent effort. And combining efforts with other sounds and things other people come up with, and, maybe all hitting one really high note all at the same time. And ringing it out and stuff like that. Just seeing what we can do to fuck with the frequency of this place and turn it back in our favor. Because this world, it's like we're in this really out of tune, backwards, inverted world. And sound has actually been proven to have an effect on reality. And that's not some bullshit. They did those experiments when it was shifting the sand and stuff like that. There's numerous things. Like, it all comes down to sound and light in a way. in a way, it's also code. So say this all is just, can be brought down to that. It's a simulation or it's a video game or whatever. I know it's well beyond our understanding, that, the one that we have right now. Our spirits probably understand exactly what this is, or at least they did. But, who's to say that the right combination of notes couldn't seriously do something? How do you know you wouldn't get a rip in time? How do you know there wouldn't be portals? How do you know that there wouldn't be a full-blown collapse of the Matrix? How do you know that it wouldn't do something? What? I don't know, but something. And along the way, like I said, spreading the word. Once the group gets to a certain size, there'd be nothing they could do to stop you. I mean, unless they want to open fire on a bunch of people that are cheerfully playing music together and marching down the street, and have like a ton of people who are, because eventually people would, if it was good, which I believe it would be, if we really took this seriously and put something together that was like, wow, that's a symphony for the ages type of thing. I think we could do a lot with that. I really do. And I can't say that I've ever seen this done before. It would be the song heard around the world, essentially. Like, legitimately, that. Like, and I mean, imagine if something like that, you know, it gets to other people who are in other countries and other places in the world, and they get people together and they do their thing. And so, like, because, you know, every day we wake up, we get to listen to their fucking lawnmowers. We get to listen to their car horns. We get to listen to their everything. Their chitter chatter, their electronic sounds, their bullshit constantly. And they commit to it. They show up every day and they make sure they get it done first thing in the morning until the time that they go into their houses at night to turn on Netflix and go to bed with their miserable life. So we have to listen to that shit all day. So I would not want to even ever hear it from anybody that we can't march around the world and play music. And never mind really well composed, epic, amazing, like beautiful, harmonious music that has never been heard before on this earth. Not in this way. And if it has, nobody remembers it. Not really. So, and, you know, you could even take that Bible verse. 144,000, they'll play a song, they'll sing a song that no man can sing. And I'm talking anybody and everyone who wanted to join in on this. Like, I don't care if you are, you know, you don't believe all the same things that I do and stuff, but you want to help and you have an instrument that you can play. And honestly, I don't want anybody to give me the shit that, I haven't played guitar in 10 years, I can't do that. I would help you, but, you know, I stink now, and I don't feel like going through the effort to actually pick it back up and, you know, kick my ass in a gear. I'd rather you just say, I don't believe that has any chance of working, and I'm not even willing to consider it. I want to just stay with things the way that they are, and basically, you know, either wait or just wait to die, and then try to get out of here. I don't know. But think about it. If you knew that there was a way out, and what if you knew that what I'm telling you right now would work? What if you knew that it would do something? Again, I don't know exactly what, but it would be a seriously positive change, no matter what. What's your excuse? What if you knew it would break you out of here? What if you knew it would change the whole world upside down? It would be, well, rather right side up. All the lights would come back on again. The sound frequency would change everything. The involvement, the attention. Do something that literally pulls away the attention of the entire world from TV screens and media and bullshit to that. Everyone who can, you know, is willing to watch and learn and follow and learn the song and stuff like that, and can harmoniously march and chant and play and sing and everything that goes along with that together. Just imagine that this is actually possible, because I really think it is. Where there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't mean it'll be easy at first. There might be several instances going home like, I don't know if this is going to work. All right, well, let's try again. And especially if I had the ability to, I would certainly have no problem helping people, you know, get places to stay, and as many people as I could, and instruments if they needed them. And again, it's not an overnight thing. I'd want everybody taking their time to learn the music and, like I said, harmonize, do your own thing with it and see what we can all create together. All playing the same tune, but all playing a different song at the same time, kind of thing. And yeah, something like that. I know it sounds nuts, but I mean, would we consider it in like 5 more years? 10 more years? Would we try something like that out of desperation? Or is that a possibility we could consider? Even if you don't play an instrument, learn one. Or learn how to hum, learn how to sing. Or just go, just show up and march. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? The cops show up? What are they going to do? Open fire on us? Especially imagine if you had thousands of people doing this. I mean, come on. They would prove the scum that they are. Oh, what are you in for? Oh, I played music with a band walking down the street. How about you? Oh, I murdered 3 women and ate their babies. That's fucking nasty, but I'm just saying. Seriously, think about it. And, oh, yeah, of course at first we get people, oh, you guys are weirdos, It's so weird. Like, you'll get some NPC criticizer. But it would just be like, just get the fuck out of here. You whiny NPC quitter. Get the fuck out of here. Go on, get out of here. We'd all chase him away. We'd be laughing at him. Or we'll just play, like, we'll all come up with a Go Fuck Yourself song and play that one out real quick and sing along with it. Everybody can do that. So we could have ways to defend ourselves. And also what I think would be cool is if everybody dressed as themselves. Excuse me. So weird. This hasn't happened once today. If, everybody dressed the way that they want to be seen, the way that they want to. Costume, not costume, whatever you want. Just 100% show up and be yourself. You want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. Not a COVID mask, but I mean, you never know. It's like, in this, don't even tell me there isn't other souled, talented musicians out there who are looking, they're not awake like we are. But they see it too. They just don't know where to go. Nobody's doing anything that's worth a fuck. There's probably way more people than we realize that just don't talk about it. They got nobody. They don't even know where to go. You imagine something, and like we all, whoever can lend a hand, we all get involved. We start learning something that we can all work on our own. Everybody helps another person. I'll help you if you don't understand, like, certain parts or whatever. I'll do the best I can. Instructional videos and stuff like that if I had to. I want to make it something that's, epic, but not, like, way too complicated and too much, memorization. Something we can loop back into itself. I know that might get boring for us, but the point would be to get a grasp on something and each lend our own unique flair to it. And have plenty of drummers on time. So even if somebody was, like, they wanted to get on a snare drum or any kind of drums or whatever, even if they lose time, there's no worries because you have, like, a whole army of people who are on time. So anyone who loses their place, it's like you just jump right back in. You wait. It wouldn't be a big deal. Basically, there's no pressure. There'd be so many people playing that even if you did screw up, nobody would hear it. It wouldn't throw anything off. But there would have to be a lot of people that knew what the hell to do, obviously, and practiced. There would have to be a core main group. And to help other people learn the song and join the march. I know it sounds like, believe me, I know what this idea sounds like. I cannot say that I've ever heard anyone pitch this kind of fucking thing. Like, for real. I'm pitching it, for real. and not, I'm not turning it down just yet. Because I don't know. Part of me, it's the whole it's so crazy it just might fucking work thing. I don't know. But honestly, think about it. Imagine that you do something like that and you give it several tries. I mean, to the point where you know for sure that it's not going to work. Think about what you just did. At least you can say you did the crazy. You, like, actually fucking tried to not only get out of here, but to change this. And I feel like that's something that can, one way or another, you can live with that in a way, and you can die with that in a way. And also, in my opinion, that would be a hell of an event. That would be the event that everybody was always talking about. We created, huh? Spoiler alert. You know? But it's like, what are we supposed to do? Just keep the YouTube thing going for the next eternity? I mean, speaking out has helped a lot. It does something. Look at what we were able to do with this. How many people had to take risks? Like, think about if you make videos, your first video. How nervous were you? Chances are, like, a lot of normal people, they're not sure if they should post what they talked about. And they feel really self-conscious. And obviously, it's a practice. You have to do it over and over and over and over and over again, and you get better at it. I mean, if you're me, you never get that good at it, but you get a lot better than you were. I don't have a spiffed up channel or anything like that. Because the message is the message. It's like what you say is what you say. It's like the words and the information is what's the most important. But I really want to know. How do we know something like that wouldn't work? Seriously. Just like when people say there's absolutely no way that this could have ever been a good place at one time. I'm not saying it was. But how do you know that it wasn't? Can you prove that? What if our entire history is just completely fabricated? Everything from before, I guess it would be the oldest of us that is here, was born. How do you know it's not all a cover-up? We don't. That's all I'm saying. We don't know that. So, I mean, again, I'm not like looking to say, hey, let's get together and organize this tomorrow. Not even close. I have more specifics for people if they're interested. But it would be the type of thing that I think would start a serious chain reaction if we committed to it and we went full force and we gave it all our fucking heart and didn't quit. Maybe I'm the craziest guy on the internet. I don't know. But you know what? Like, seriously? I mean, dead seriously. Like, courage counts for something in this realm. It really does. And you just look around and you just seriously ask yourself, what the fuck am I waiting for? What do I have to lose? Oh no, if that doesn't work, then people are going to think I'm stupid. Oh, people might feel stupid about themselves. Oh no, like we haven't had plenty of practice with that here. Come on. You haven't had a shitload of experience being humiliated yet. Are you kidding me? That's not an excuse. That's not a good reason. Just the same as like, oh, I haven't played the guitar in a few years, or I haven't played the keyboard in a few years, or I haven't sung in a few years, so, oh, I'd like to join. I hate when people say that, like, oh yeah, I'd like to, but no, it's like you didn't want to go. You didn't even want to try. Because if you knew that that was the way out, if you knew that that would get you $1 billion even, you'd do it. You would. So that's not an excuse. I understand location. But that doesn't mean that the possibilities of everything that I'm saying right now, which are real possibilities in my opinion. Like I would have to be a liar to say everything that I just said is crazy and wouldn't work, because I don't know that. I think there's a possibility it might, but again, I don't know. And at the very, very worst, we meet tons of other people like ourselves. We don't give up literally every last drop of our lives. It's not the ultimate risk. It's not risking at all. It's risk. It is real risk, but and it would require a lot of guts. But I mean, I don't think the effects of something like that would be absolutely devastating if it failed. I think it would just be like, oh, I mean, it would hurt. It'd be a letdown. But at the same time, you'd be like, dudes, we tried to organize a fucking worldwide event to march around and play music and dress in costumes and shit. And fuck with, like, the sound time light barrier, whatever. Come on, like, that's cool, come on. Like, what, seriously. Oh man, I can't believe I fucking did that. I wish I stayed home and, caught the next season of whatever show, and oh man, I really wish I didn't cancel that date I had. What a fucking waste of time that was. It's just like, seriously? You give me one good reason why what I'm saying should just be totally brushed off. Because I know in your heart right now, you know there's something to it. And so do I. And again, at the absolute worst case scenario, I'm not expecting a lot right now. Like, I hope it would be really cool if there were people who were like, yeah, you know what? All right, I'm going to start playing my keyboard again. I'm going to start singing again. I'm going to start playing my guitar again. Or I'm going to buy a drum set again, or whatever. And because stuff like this, you take it one day at a time, you figure it out along the way, and the way usually ends up showing up when it's natural, when it's right. And even the way songs come together in general, speaking of music, it like just works itself out. But there's got to be momentum, there's got to be effort. So that's what I got. And honestly, to this day, I will be damned unless I'm missing something, but I don't think that anybody has ever suggested what I'm suggesting. And this is serious, just in case you didn't catch that before. Like, this isn't a joke video. It's not just like a crazy theory video. It kind of is in a way, but it's like, let me know your thoughts. Because, 4 or 5 people wouldn't be enough. That's a band. I'm talking we'd have to, before we launched it, have a meetup of at least hundreds of people. Thousands, if possible. And not start out in, like, seriously crowded areas. Like, work on it first. Practice. Go on, trial runs with it. Through, like, the mountains or something. Or, more open area where, there's less attention involved. Show us doing it in videos after that. After the first few sessions. Post some videos. Show, just, get it in the ear of others. In the face of others. Like I said, pull their attention away from all this crap. And say, this is what's going on. Look at what the truckers did in Australia. And they all just put a stop to everything. Something like that. Get the attention of the world. And also, I just want to say too, just because you don't play an instrument or you think you don't have musical talent, you don't know that either. I'm willing to bet if you have a soul, you actually do have musical talent. You just don't realize it. A couple people lately have told me they were composing songs in their head. They would have these things hit them. But they don't play. It's like, okay, well, if you can do that, if you can tap a beat, if you can do it. And even if you didn't want to, why not show up and chant? Who cares if you don't sound perfect? Play the friggin' triangle. But if I knew that something like this was a possibility, I would give it all of my heart. I really would. And I know what happens when I put all my heart into shit. It happens. I've learned that throughout my entire life. Doesn't mean it came easy, doesn't mean it was perfect, but it eventually happens, even if it sounded crazy at first. There's a lot of things I thought I wouldn't be able to do that I was able to do. And that's just me. I'm talking about something that involves tons of you guys, like tons of us. Tons. Just think about the sound. Think about what that would, all these, like, different musicians, different personalities, different instruments. Did I already say different instruments? I don't know. Yeah, different personalities, different instruments, different types of sound, different, but all at the same time. Like, still uniform, but not like strict. Just free-flowing harmony that follows a rhythm and follows a time signature. And everybody's in sync, but also adding their own flavor to it. Just imagine. And I'm not talking picture like a marching band worth. Picture thousands of people doing this. You don't even need drums for a lot of it. What I believe we used to do is we used to stomp our feet. That would do a lot on its own. People doing that. Even just by marching to that beat, you're creating sound. It's like I always say, it's like, if I really am crazy, I at least want to fucking find out. I don't want to just wonder what if. It's like, and seriously, it's like, what the fuck is anyone else doing anyway? What the hell are we doing? I mean, to sit around and just wait. Yeah, maybe, you know what? Maybe something will happen. But again, if you were preparing for it not to, are you going to be upset about that? Like, really? You prepared for the worst, but then the best case scenario happened? Well, you were prepared if not. And it worked out way better than you thought. Congratulations, the end. But the people that are just going to sit around and be like, I'm just going to wait here to die, thank you very much. I don't even want to try to get out of the Matrix. I don't want to try to alter reality at all. I believe it's all set in stone. I believe that mundane reality is all there is, and we just need to accept that and just keep our mouths shut and keep our heads down and keep taking this fucking abuse. Well, to me that's crazy, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, I hope you guys, hope you enjoyed this video, but this was like a call to order kind of thing. Like, I really want to know who would actually be serious, because I would organize it. And I'd be more than welcome to plenty and any help, whatever we can come up with. Because I know that it's something that no one person can do on their own. Just like basically, do we believe we're creator beings, or don't we? So that's what I think. I think there's a real answer. I think there's a real solution that would work. They're never going to let you know that, because then you would be trying anything and everything. But if they can keep you thinking that there's nothing you can do, there's nothing we can do together, we can't overthrow this entire reality with music. I think the music would work the best, and especially being in costumes and stuff like that, and deliberately getting the attention of as many as possible, and just going on like a freedom march. Yeah, of course, it doesn't have to be like a several-year-long event. I know, I'm going to shut up, but I'm just Because I know people are thinking, oh, that, to do that, I'd have to uproot my entire life. But eventually, if we got it going enough, there would be groups all over the place doing it. All over the place. It'd be like, okay, this one's coming to town this week. We'll jump in that one and play for a bit. And eventually, I would hope. Imagine if you were actually able to get the entire world, or the majority, to focus on that and to join in on that. I wonder what that would do. I seriously wonder. And it would be really cool to actually try and fucking find out. Peace, guys.